This is all about the tone and the approach. And the tone and the approach that the Prime Minister has taken is to say out, out, out. We don't want anything to do with a single market. We don't want anything to do with the customs union. We don't want anything to do with the European Court. We don't want anything to do with European agencies. And we're going to pretend that no deal is a reasonable or good deal. And that's been received in Europe as a country which does not want that cooperation and collaboration. So we want to reset the tone. And on day one, on that morning of the 9th, we will be saying to EU citizens, we will unilaterally guarantee your right. Now,
You are, forgive me, but you are effectively saying, yes, it is a concession, but it's a concession with a purpose. We want to mark a change of approach. We are willing to give you something in return for nothing, in return for no guaranteed rights for British citizens in the EU, because we think it'll change the atmospherics.
Well, it's the right thing to do because there are millions of EU citizens in this country who are very concerned about their status. Of course, we need to have equally in mind the rights of UK nationals in other countries. But I'm absolutely clear from my discussions in Brussels and elsewhere that that would be received as a very welcome message of the sort of approach that the UK wants to take. And I honestly believe that it would lead, or be more likely to lead, to a very decent deal for our citizens in other countries. So
you see, Claire Spence, who we just heard from, she was the person who voted for Leave.
Yes.
Was a voter for your party, so she won't be now. Isn't she going to think, here is the Labour Party at the beginning of a negotiation saying, here, have something for nothing? That isn't the way to get a hard bargain, the way to strike a decent deal.
Well, as I say, it's about setting the right tone, the right approach. It's saying there is an alternative to the way that the Prime Minister has approached this. Now, the Prime Minister, people say she's got a clear approach, but it is an approach that takes all of the options off the table before she starts. That is actually a very rigid approach. It's a reckless approach, and it gives her very little to play with in the negotiations. So we say set the tone differently, take a different approach, and understand the principles and values that have to guide us through this.